Mr. Mayor, it's time.
I'd like to call this special meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Mayor Jose Grijalva,
Here.
Councilmember Ida N. Pedrego,
Present.
Councilmember Jose Montaño, Councilmember Gustavo Durazo, Councilmember Ray Shelton,
Present.
Councilmember Maria Dillman,
Here.
Councilmember Richard Acosta, City Manager Ana Urquijo,
Present.
City Attorney Dennis Fitzgibbons, City Treasurer Alejandro Martinez.
Here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Acosta is excused. We were supposed to be, or we are expecting Mr. Durazo and Mr. Montaño. Said he might be here, but if he's not because he had an appointment in Tucson, he is excused. Item 3, persons wishing to address the council in writing or verbally on any item not on the agenda. Ms. Clerk, I know we have one.
Yes.
We have 2. Ms. Diana Lamar.
What I was going to say, I'll vamp a little bit so that you don't have to wait. Diana Lamar, 1303 F Avenue in Douglas. Good evening, council, mayor, and community. I know that it's not possible to put everything on an agenda, so I'm very well aware of that. But I did want to acknowledge that April is also Sexual Assault Awareness Month, and it provides an opportunity to listen to and honor survivors and remind those impacted by sexual violence that they're not alone. Sexual violence includes any sexual activity without consent. It can happen in person or online and affect people of all ages, genders, and backgrounds. In the United States, more than half of women and nearly 1 in 3 men experience sexual violence in their lifetime. As technology advances and becomes a bigger part of everyday life, technology-facilitated sexual violence is also increasing. This includes behaviors such as online harassment and stalking, non-consensual sharing of intimate images, sextortion, deep fakes, and AI-generated sexual images, predators using online platforms, gaming spaces, or dating apps to target victims. So this is an invitation for all of us to learn more about this issue, to support survivors, and to help prevent gender-based violence. I bring this up also in light of the recent investigative reporting on the subject. And I just wanted to say that this is not a faceless crime. There are people in this room that have experienced sexual violence. I've experienced it myself. Once, someone unknown to me, another time someone known to me, and also in a medical clinical environment with a healthcare professional, not to mention innumerable times of unwanted advances, catcalls, what have you. So I invite us all to be open to our friends and our family members, to offer support, and to not to be passive. If we see something, hear something, be courageous and speak up so that we can try to change the course of this problem. Thank you.
Thank you. Item 4, presentation on public hearing. Mr. Martinez.
Good afternoon, good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of the council, and community members. This is a public hearing pertaining to our 2026-27 property tax levy. Every fiscal year, the city of Douglas is required to adopt its property tax levy and submit the certification to Cochise County Board of Supervisors no later than the third Monday in August. This year, the certification must be submitted on or before August 17th, 2026. It actually is on August 17th, 2026. On February 10th, 2026, the city received the 2026 net assessed primary evaluation with the following numbers. Our primary assessed value was 69,631,679. We added $1.121004 million to the tax rolls in new construction. We are proposing to leave our property tax rate at 1.0783, which is the same as last year, per 100,000 of assessed value. Again, there is no change. Because leaving the tax rate the same as last year will produce a higher tax levy of 750,838 compared to 724,941 from last year. We are required to have this hearing. I want to reiterate that we're not increasing the tax rate. We're leaving it exactly the same. And the increase in the actual dollar amount or property tax levy is derived from two sources. One is higher valuations on our properties and also adding new construction to our tax rolls. The net increase, if we took away new construction, just comparing apples to apples, last year to this year, just because of increased values, is an additional $14,000. So again, because we're leaving the tax rate the same and we're levying more money, property taxes, we are required to have this truth in taxation hearing for the public.
Thank you. So after his presentation, we will give 3 minutes if there's any public participation.
Mr. Mayor, just as an information, we do have the city attorney and Councilmember Durazo trying to connect.
Trying to.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
if I may add, this is just a public hearing. There's no action to be taken tonight. The first reading will be in the June regular council meetings. And then the second reading will be on a special meeting in July. So there is no action at this point. It truly is just a public hearing.
And in June and July, it would help if you start off with "we're not raising taxes" before your speech and then end it with "we're not raising taxes." And Dennis is here.
Thanks, Mayor, for letting me in.
Excuse me. It's me. Allergies, I'm not sick. Good.
And Mr. Durazo is also in the meeting. Is council okay with ending the public hearing? Thank you, Mr. Martinez. Item 5, reading of proclamations. We have 4 right now, but I would like to thank and apologize to Ms. Lamar for not including that one, and thank you for bringing it to our attention. Proclamation for municipal clerks, Professional Municipal Clerks Week. Whereas the office of the Professional Municipal Clerk, a time-honored and vital part of local government, exists throughout the world, and whereas the office of the Professional Municipal Clerk is the oldest among public servants, and whereas the office of the Municipal Clerk, the Professional Municipal Clerks, provides the link between the citizens, local governing bodies, and agencies of government at other levels, and whereas professional municipal clerks have pledged to be ever mindful of their neutrality and impartiality, rendering equal service to all. And whereas the professional municipal clerk serves as the information center on functions of local government and community. Whereas professional municipal clerks continually strive to improve the administration of the affairs of the municipal clerk office through participation in education programs, seminars, workshops, and the annual meetings of their state, provincial, county, and international professional organizations. Whereas it is most appropriate that we recognize the accomplishments of the office of the professional municipal clerk. Now therefore let it be resolved that I, Jose Grijalva, Mayor, and on behalf of the City of Douglas Council, do hereby proclaim the week of May 3rd through May 9th, 2026 as Professional Municipal Clerks Week, and further extend appreciation to our municipal clerk office and to our professional municipal clerks for the vital services they perform and their exemplary dedication to the communities they represent. I'd like to thank our clerks. They keep everything for us organized and in check. And if you don't know, she probably wrote that for me. So we thank Alma and Cynthia for all the hard work that they do for us. The next proclamation, the National Day of Prayer. Whereas throughout America's history, in times of both trial and triumph, people have turned to prayer for courage, comfort, guidance, and celebration, seeking the light and extending it to others in need. And whereas from the earliest days of our nation, beginning with our founding fathers and continuing through present-day leaders, Americans have been encouraged to unite in prayer for God's guidance, mercy, and protection. And whereas the National Day of Prayer has been an important part of our heritage since its declaration by the First Continental Congress in 1775 and its establishment as public law by the United States Congress in 1952, later affirmed in 1988, designating it the first Thursday of each May as the National Day of Prayer, and whereas communities across America will observe the National Day of Prayer on Thursday, May 7th, 2026, with the theme, Pour Out to the God of Hope and Be Filled, encouraging neighbors to join together in prayer for our nation, our communities, and one another. And whereas through prayer we express our faith, exercise our freedom, and unite our hearts in humility, love, and hope, trusting that God hears the prayers of his people. Now therefore let it be resolved that I, Jose Grijalva, Mayor, and on behalf of the City of Douglas Council, do hereby proclaim May 7, 2026 as the National Day of Prayer throughout the City of Douglas, and I commend this observance to all our citizens. You know, just to know, I think we've prayed for so many years that our city and our economy grows, and I pray that we don't forget God once that happens, because we're very close to the finish line on that.
Amen to that.
Next one, Frontline Workers Appreciation Month. Whereas frontline workers are the builders of our community, exercising curiosity, compassion, courage, and creativity to provide essential services that ensure the safety, health, and education of our residents. And whereas over 9 million healthcare workers across the United States serve in hospitals, clinics, and long-term healthcare facilities, often placing themselves at risk to provide life-saving care. And whereas firefighters respond to an estimated 36 million emergency calls each year, over 800,000 sworn law enforcement officers nationwide work tirelessly to uphold the law and ensure public safety, and emergency medical services, EMS, personnel to respond to more than 240 million calls annually. And whereas teachers dedicated their careers to shaping the future of our communities, with over 3.7 million educators in the U.S. providing knowledge and guidance to our youth. And whereas frontline workers embody the essence of builders, flexible thinkers, and constructive problem solvers who respect the dignity of all people by dedicating themselves to overcoming challenges and uniting communities. Now therefore let it be resolved that I, Jose Grijalva, and on behalf of the City of Douglas Council, do hereby proclaim the month of May 2026 Frontline Worker Appreciation Month in the city of Douglas and encourage all residents to join in recognizing and honoring the heroic contributions of our healthcare workers, firefighters, law enforcement officers, EMS personnel, and teachers. I'd like to thank our firefighters represented here, our police represented here, educators that are up here and in the crowd if they are, and also Mr. Durazo, who's a healthcare worker. Thank you for all that you do, because you're the ones that, you know, when we're in an emergency, even our teachers, I was always taught your teacher is your second parent, because that your school is your second home because you spend most of the time over there. So thank you all for everything that you do. And the next proclamation, National Mental Health Awareness Month. Whereas mental health is essential component of overall being and is integral to leading a fulfilling and productive life. And whereas millions of individuals worldwide are affected by mental health conditions, including anxiety, depression, bipolar disorder, schizophrenia, and many others, often resulting in significant challenges in their personal, professional, and social lives. And whereas mental health conditions do not discriminate based on age, gender, race, socioeconomic status, or any other factor affecting individuals across all demographics and communities. And whereas Mental Health Awareness Month provides an opportunity for society to raise awareness about mental health, eliminate stigma, promote understanding, and emphasize the importance of seeking help and support. And whereas increasing public knowledge and understanding about mental health helps to dispel misconceptions and encourages early intervention, leading to better outcomes and improved quality of life for individuals living with mental health conditions. And whereas Mental Health Awareness Month, communities, organizations, and individuals are encouraged to engage in educational activities, public discussions, initiatives that promote mental health awareness, advocate for access to mental health services, and foster a supportive environment for those affected by mental health conditions. Now, therefore, let it be resolved that I, Jose Grijalva, Mayor, and on behalf of the City of Douglas Council, do hereby proclaim May 2026 as National Mental Health Awareness Month and call upon all citizens, organizations, healthcare providers, educational institutions, and government agencies to join in raising awareness about mental health, combating stigma, and promoting understanding and compassion. I urge everyone to support and participate in events, programs, and activities that promote mental health awareness, provide resources and information, and create an inclusive and supportive community for all individuals affected by mental health conditions. We are our brother's keeper, and our prayers go to our first responders too, because you're the first people that we call when we need something, and a lot of the times you see things that we would never dream about seeing. So we're here for you too. Thank you for all that you do. Item 6, discussion decision on approval consent agenda items. Item A, Finance Committee, appointment of Ida N. Pedrego as Chair of the Finance Committee. Item B, Industrial Development Authority appointment, IDA, of Javier Fimbres. And item C, resolution number 26-1731, a resolution of the Mayor and Council of the City of Douglas, Cochise County, Arizona, approving the selection of Thailand for the amount of $459,912.70 and authorizing the execution of a professional services agreement for a safety action plan and complete street study funded by the Safe Streets and Roads for All SS4A grant program. May I have a motion to approve the consent agenda items?
Mayor,
Mrs. Dillman.
Mayor.
Mrs. Dillman.
I move that the mayor and council approve consent agenda items A, B, and resolution C.
Do you have a second?
Second.
Motion by Mrs. Dillman, second by Mr. Shelton. We do have a form to discuss, so I will be pulling item C. We'll be voting for items A and B, and then we'll discuss item C. So do we have any discussions on items A and B? Hearing none, roll call please for items A and B.
Councilmember Pedrego,
Yes.
Councilmember Durazo,
Yes.
Councilmember Shelton,
Yes.
Councilmember Dillman,
Yes.
Mr. Mayor.
Yes, motion passes. Now item C. This is the resolution number 26-1731. We do have someone who would like to speak, Mr. Helfrich. The discussion was I don't need to bring it back on the floor since we brought it back and we just pulled it, right? Right, Dennis? I don't need a motion again.
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, it was pulled from consent, so now it's its own item on the
Okay.
agenda.
So I bring it up for a motion?
Well, did somebody want to speak to this item?
Yeah.
I think it's on the agenda, so we can.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Oh, so we'll have him present, Mr. Helfrich, and then after him, you can come up. Okay. Mr. Rockwell. I pulled it just so you can talk, by the way, since you're here.
Mayor and council members, this is a grant we got from the Federal Highway Administration. The purpose for it is to study our streets. It's called a Safe Streets for All program. But it's also a complete street study that looks at the streets as a whole, not just for motor vehicles, but also for safety, for alternate transportation, for what condition, what condition it is in terms of American Disabilities Act. And it also coincides with our RAISE grant, because the RAISE grant required a complete street study of those 9 streets that are in the RAISE grant. So we're using this grant to do the complete street study on those streets. And as far as the RAISE grant go, ADOT is going ahead and selecting a consultant and going forward. So they're going to be actually working in their design engineer is going to be working with our engineer on this RAISE grant on those specific streets. But they're going to look at Douglas as a whole, look for the safety aspects. So what we can do to really improve our safety on all our streets. And then we'll end up with a safety action plan, something we can follow going forward to improve our streets and make them more safe. The selection process was difficult. We received 8 excellent proposals from professionals. We formed a committee of professionals among our staff and rated each proposal separately with a point system and came back and then we came back and discussed our findings and we came up with the best proposal, which is TY Lin. And then with your approval, we're going to go forward with this with the contract with TY Lin. The project's going to take about a year, but we're going to emphasize that they get the complete street study going right away in conjunction with the RAISE grant that's going under design by ADOT.
Thank you. Any questions for Mr. Rockwell? Ms. Pedro?
You mentioned that there was 8 professionals within the city that did this?
There are 4 professionals on our team, what do you call it, the ranking team. We each independently read all the proposals, and they were like 40-something pages long. All the experience they had, where they'd worked in other communities. We looked for their success and engagement with the community. And then if they'd worked in other border cities too.
So it wasn't city employees, it's other people that did this?
That's
my question.
It was city employees that ranked the proposals, yes.
Mr.
Yeah,
Shelton?
yes. Where is this firm from? It's Thailand International.
They're a large firm, but this office is based out of Phoenix.
Okay, now they go all over the West or the country or?
Yes.
Oh,
And
okay.
yeah, they're a very large firm, and they've done studies in other southern Arizona cities. Very similar to what we're doing here.
If this does pass, when will they start?
Right away.
Okay,
Well, we got to get a contract together and the city manager would then sign, go into a contract for
And
this.
then we'll have to find a place to put them.
Well, what I'd really like to get them going is get them down here for Douglas Days. And they'll have a
Yeah.
pop-up tent with information and they'll be talking to everybody and trying to get input from the community.
That
you know.
would be excellent.
Yeah, that was what I really saw in this particular consultant is their engagement with the community, getting community input.
Okay, that would be neat. Okay, thank you.
Very important.
Yes.
Anyone else? Sure, sit down there. Mr. Durazo, any questions before we move on to the speaker?
No questions.
Thank you. Mr. Helfrich.
Stephen Helfrich, 1303 F Avenue, Douglas, Arizona. Let's see, I just wanted to understand the executive summary and a little bit how this is going to happen. The raise grant was for the 23 million, correct?
Correct.
And then the Safe Streets was a grant that we got. And that had matching funds,
10%,
so
20? It's a 20% match.
20.
So the SS4A grant was part of the RAISE grant application. The RAISE grant application, as we submitted it, we included that we would provide as well a safety action plan for the commercial corridors, the 9 corridors, and there was a match amount for that. But the entire RAISE packet was approved with the understanding that we also had to complete that commitment. So now we're working with ADOT to do the 23.5 million for the 9 commercial corridors, but we now have to align this SS4A safety action plan, which will hopefully work alongside design and engineering to see for each of those corridors, plus as our engineers mentioned, will include areas beyond as well. But as they match up to these 9 corridors, they'll look at things like bike lanes or safety lights or improvements from a safety perspective. And this is not construction, this is an action plan so that engineering can incorporate that. So what I'm hoping is that as they align each of the corridors, the safety action plan is completed a corridor at a time in that order, so it doesn't hold up the design team on the ADOT side from actually producing the design and engineering on it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, so those are construction documents.
Right.
So okay, so there's the 8 corridors. And my question, why wasn't A Avenue in one of those 8 corridors? And that, I think, as important as Washington.
We established the 9 commercial corridors. I think there's 9. Are we down to 8? Port of Entry is incorporating one of them. But we used, gosh, that was so long ago when we went for 2 cycles on the RAISE grant application. And I couldn't tell you at the moment why we didn't include A Avenue, but I have that documentation on how we produced it. But staff, can you speak to the A Avenue portion at the microphone? Yeah, thanks.
Basically, we maximize the grant amount request and prioritize the streets that hadn't received a lot of attention. A Avenue, although it needs some work, but it had received treatment before. So we kind of prioritize the other streets that had a lot more need based on the PCI index and based on the budget amount of our grant request.
And doesn't mean that A Avenue will later not get attention. It's just with this grant, that's what we were able to do.
But it could be also, it will be also covered under the Safe Streets and Roads for All grant.
For all, yes.
And because I can see that could become a bike lane that goes.
Yes.
West Mechanic, so that's essentially, I think that's a good corridor.
And it also aligns with other efforts that are being worked on with pathways, with Cochise County and regional partners. So a lot of these things align in a very positive way.
Yeah, I think that's great. Let's see, we're gonna give J2 another 38K for another good contract.
He is a subcontractor to Tillin.
TY, is that how you pronounce it?
How do you pronounce it?
TY.
TY.
And they're really based on us. Okay, and then I would say the other thing would be, with that study, then we would need additional money to implement any of the construction documents. That would come out of the Safe Street study.
Not the components that will be incorporated from the,
In any additional.
an additional, yes,
Beyond the regs.
Correct. Correct.
So
Even in the raise,
feed some of these design components of these streets. Pending, some of these items, some of these bike lanes might fit in one street, but not, trying to have to look at it and budget and different components will be at play. In order to get those recommendations into the design construction. So these two are running almost the same and feeding information.
that's what it sounds like. So ADOT in the raised grant, there's $500,000 for the complete street study. Is that in addition to the?
So on that, we didn't know that we were gonna get the SS4A grant. So that's why we put that $500,000 in the raise grant. So instead, we're gonna get that money and use it for construction.
So that's.
Because we saved that 500,000. Instead, we got an additional grant through the SS4A that would actually
got it.
supplement the project now, so.
You
so
can
that-
come and talk to.
And that design build, so that 500,000 design build, part of this
Well,
budget, projected budget on that.
well,
the
It
raise.
would go towards the construction, additional construction monies.
Yeah.
Because we had already allocated design monies. I think it's under 2 million of design. And we had already allocated, so that goes back into the construction budget.
Okay, and then my last question would be, well, I have two more. The phase 2 on the Chino Road environmental study has been completed,
That's correct.
and what were the results of that?
That there is
A
a
landfill.
landfill underneath, yeah.
And then has Freeport agreed to pay for any of that?
Not at this time, no.
Is that in the construction budget for Chino Road?
Yeah, so they're gonna look at different alternatives for Chino Road. Again, digging out those trash contents or potentially doing some kind of
routing,
injection. yeah,
injections.
right, that can stabilize that roadway. It just depends on what the engineers come up with and the solutions are the budget given to that street.
Okay, and then the other question I have, the Brian.
Brian's Way. Brian's Way.
Yeah, the little boy that was
Right.
killed. There was some funds from the Odom Nation earmarked to install highly visible crosswalks. Has that been completed?
No, I think it's a $40,000 or $45,000 grant for Brian's Way, but because Ray's is going to come through G to correct other areas, we're waiting to align with that as well.
I would say the intersection. what
Right.
Actually happened to.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Halpern. Any other discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Mayor, I have a question for item C.
Who's already on the floor?
You voted for item.
Oh, here, I'll make the motion.
Do I have a motion for item C?
I move that the mayor and council approve resolution number 26-1731, letter C.
Do you have a second?
Second.
She was gonna say Mrs. Pedrigo second, that's why I started laughing. A motion by Mr. Shelton, second by Mrs. Pedrigo, any discussion? Video? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Councilmember Pedrigo,
Yes.
Councilmember Durazo,
Yes.
Councilmember Shelton,
Yes.
Councilmember Bowman,
Yes.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, motion passes. Item 7, discussion decision on approvals. Addendum, agenda item posted April 20th, 2026 at 4:45 PM. Item 1A, resolution number 26-1732, a resolution of the mayor and council of the city of Douglas, Cochise County, Arizona, authorizing the city of Douglas to accept grant funding and enter into a sub-grantee agreement with the state of Arizona Department of Homeland Security for a reimbursable grant fund allocation in the amount of $3,000 for reallocation equipment under Operation Stone Garden fiscal year 2023 grant program reallocation. Lieutenant or interim chief, what do you prefer?
Lieutenant's
Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, and community members. The Arizona Department of Homeland Security selected the department to receive $3,000 in funding under the FFY 2023 Operation Stone Garden Grant Program reallocation. The performance period for this grant cycle is April 13th, 2026 through July 31st, 2026. The department was selected to receive the following equipment under the grant: vehicle speed measurement device, essentially a radar. The Operation Stone Garden program was implemented to enhance security along the nation's border regions. This is achieved through a cooperative and coordinated enforcement effort between state and local law enforcement agencies in the U.S. Border Patrol, targeting specific routes of egress that could potentially be used by criminal organizations to smuggle terrorists, weapons of mass destruction, and other contraband into the United States from Mexico. The police department has participated in the Operation Stone Garden program since its inception, and to date, all expenditures have been reimbursed in full.
Thank you. May I have a motion to approve resolution number 26-1732?
I move that the mayor and the council approve resolution number 26-17.
Motion by Mrs. Pedrigo. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mrs. Dillman. Any discussion? Just on a quick note, Mr. Halfrick, you just put 7 here, so is it? So the next one. Okay. Comments?
No, I just wanted to say this is great. It's good.
And thank you, because you all do these own grants, right? So
Yes.
thank you for your time. Hearing no other discussion, roll call, please.
Pedrigo,
Yes.
Councilmember Durazo,
Yes.
Councilmember Shelton,
Yes.
Councilmember Dillman,
Yes.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, motion passes. Now, item 7A. The second reading of ordinance number 26-1230, an ordinance of the mayor and council of the city of Douglas, Cochise County, Arizona, authorizing the acceptance of donated vacant unimproved real property from Ray Meehan consisting of a 6.35 acre parcel with assessor's parcel number 410-12-035 in the city of Douglas, Cochise County, Arizona, establishing severability of components of ordinance and establishing an effective date thereof. Mr. Pedrosa.
Good evening, Mayor, members of council. Mr. Ray Meehan approached the city about donating that parcel 410-12-035 adjacent to the city's golf course and SR 80. The unimproved parcel has property taxes owed in the amount of $33,154.27, accrued since 2008. Mr. Meehan is no longer interested in developing the property and wants to donate it. The city negotiated with Mr. Meehan and accepted the donation. He would like the city to absorb those property taxes. The parcel is 6.35 acres with an assessed valuation of 36,378. Parcel's not improved, but utilities are nearby. You'll see in a map on your packets. The site is zone residential, but certainly has the potential to be rezoned to commercial. The location of the parcel next to the golf course presents opportunities for commercial, residential, and even more golf course development. The acquisition of the properties would allow the city to market to developers the availability of prime real estate for development and advance the city's goals to increase population, tax revenues, and attract businesses. Thank you.
Thank you. May I have a motion to approve the second reading of ordinance number 26-1230?
That the mayor and council approve the second reading and ordinance number 26-1230 by number and title only.
Motion by Mr. Pedro. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Shelton. Any discussion?
Like the taxes on this property. Do you know the amount that we would be paying on the taxes?
Yes.
And if there were any in arrears,
Excuse me.
there were in arrears, taxes that were in,
Oh, yes, Councilmember Pedro. Well, the taxes is $33,154.27 since 2008.
that's,
Yes.
that's why it's assessed at that value.
No, not necessarily. It's just been assessed at that value by Cochise County.
And that's how much back taxes they owe?
Yes, they haven't paid them since 2008.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Mr. Pedrosa,
Don't.
sorry, Mayor. I'm sorry. Is the land a dump? I mean, they've been dumping out there? Are you gonna have to clean out also the property or?
So Mayor, Councilmember Dillman, not to our knowledge, but we will do a title report, which will also allow us to review history of what's happened in that parcel. But at the moment, we don't see visual issues with the property.
Okay, thank you.
Any other discussions, questions? Hearing none. Mr. Hoffrick.
I'll try and speak into the microphone. Steve Helfrich, 1303 F Avenue, Douglas, Arizona. I would like to speak on I'm calling it the Meeham property, is that correct? One thing is that a donation is a donation, but a donation when you're paying his taxes isn't really a donation. I believe it's very much like a gift from the city to him, a private citizen. So I think that's a little bit questionable as far as the parcel goes, about the donation. As far as the parcel goes, I'm under the belief if it hasn't been developed by now, it won't be. So in the end, that because of access, I don't see clear access. I see floodplain issues. I think that it's not a very good property for the city to essentially buy for $33,000. I think it should stay into the private sector. And I think it should go, there's a family that owns 2 adjacent parcels to the east. And I would consider that they would be the ones to absorb this parcel so they could have one big parcel for development. I do not see any clear access for infrastructure. They have to go through another parcel to the north to get to the road. I don't believe you're going to get access up because I think it's too close to the intersection of the Perea intersection. So, and that would need to be confirmed. So I think you have a parcel here that you really, the development costs are too high. So I think if they want to give the parcel, if he wants to give the parcel to us and let us deal with it, that's right. That's good. That's solid, but not paying his taxes. the development strategy of buying this or getting this property in 2008 and not paying your taxes for 18 years? Do you guys pay your taxes? I pay my taxes. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Alfred. Would staff like to answer any of the concerns brought up?
I would defer to Dennis on any gift clause situations. I know we've discussed this internally, and we feel that it's an investment for continued development and growth and aligns with some of the plans that we have discussed along that path. On the access issues, I think it's part of a development plan, which is what we would entertain in bringing in interest and investors to that area. As part of our growth plan, there is opportunities for development, as we've talked in the past as well. And those are aligned with the strategies that we've been pursuing.
Thank you. Any discussions from council after? I'll let you go back up, Mr. Helfrich. Since it's the second reading.
I think that the city development strategy is to concentrate commercial to the parcel west of the Perea entrance. And then the parcels to the right or to the east, this is one of them, would be, I think, either low density residential or medium density residential. But I just don't see it as a developable property in and of itself. So that it will never be a commercial property. It may be neighborhood commercial if to serve the neighborhood, but it's not your development plan and your general plan and your zoning really moves the commercial development to the west and to the east of Leslie Canyon. Marcy, thank you.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Hearing none.
I would say if there's some questions, and personally, I don't feel comfortable voting because I'm not sure that some of these questions have been answered. So can I refrain from voting for this? No, I just have to say no.
No.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Hearing none, no other, go ahead.
Because I think those are some valid questions that we should be answering before we, because it is purchasing, it's not a gift. I agree. For 36,000.
Right, and Ms. Pedrego would respect that. We haven't been part of the conversations on this specific item. So I don't know if there's other guidance there.
I'll entertain a motion to table this to the next regular meeting
To catch up, Ms.
to catch
Pedrego.
her up.
Thank
I'll make the motion for that. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mrs. Dillman on the motion to table to the next meeting. Any discussion?
Would that be to postpone the
The
item?
table until the next, postpone it until
Postpone till
the
the
regular
next.
meeting in May. Hearing none, Ms. Clerk, roll call please on the postponement.
Councilmember Pedrego,
Yes.
Councilmember Durakin,
Yes.
Councilmember Shelton,
No.
Councilmember Tillman,
Yes.
Mr. Mayor, I'll vote yes. Motion passes. We will postpone this item until the next regular meeting. We can catch. She's only been in office for a week, so I don't blame her. Thank you. Item B, first reading of ordinance number 26-1231, an ordinance of the mayor and council of the city of Douglas, Cochise County, Arizona, amending chapter 2.02 of the Douglas Municipal Code, specifically as to section 2.02.020, rules of conduct for council meetings, establishing severability of components of ordinance and establishing an effective date thereof. Ms. Andrade.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. This is a very housekeeping item by the direction of the mayor. The Cochise County updates as a standing item will be included if approved by mayor and council. If so, there is a need to update the Douglas Municipal Code, chapter 2.020 under the rules of conduct for council meetings. And if you can see under the background information, item I is in capitalized and in bold, meaning that Cochise County government now needs to be as a standing item in the agendas, and we provide any information that the county electrician needs to be. Very simple ordinance, amending the first reading, I'm sorry, chapter 202. And I can entertain any questions. If you have any.
Thank you. May I have a motion to approve the placement of ordinance number 26-1231?
Mr. Mayor,
Mr. Shelton,
I move the mayor and council approve the first reading of ordinance number 26-1231 and to place it on second reading by number and title only.
do I have a second?
I second.
Motion by Mr. Shelton, second by Mrs. Pedregal. Any discussion? Ms. Clerk, is this for only this item to add on to it?
Yes.
The coach. Hearing no more discussion, roll call, please.
Councilmember Pedrego,
Yes.
Councilmember Shelton.
Yes.
Councilmember Durazo,
Yes.
Councilmember Dillman,
Yes.
Mr. Mayor.
Yes, motion passes.
An ordinance of the mayor and council of the city of Douglas, Cochise County, Arizona, amending chapter 2.02 of the Douglas Municipal Code, specifically as to section 2.02.020, rules of conduct for council meetings, establishing severability components of ordinance and establishing an effective date thereof.
May I have a motion to approve the first reading of ordinance number 26-1231? Mrs.
I
Pedregal,
move that the mayor and council approve the placement of ordinance number 26-1231 and to place it on the first reading by November in title only. Number and title only.
do I have a second? Motion by Mrs. Pedregal, second by Mr. Shelton. Any discussion? I'd like on the possibility of just leaving this open, kind of like with the mayor rearranging, because if someone, let's say we have a state representative, I could put them on a line item there instead of call to the public where they have 3 minutes and then there's no discussion from council, giving the mayor leeway and staff leeway of basically adding something. And if it doesn't work out, we could always have council come back and vote, in case you have a future mayor that wants to add like 20 things, then council can come back and strike that down. But I just like the freedom if we have any representative or some where we can have a discussion with their updates where something can be added basically more loosely. That's okay. For the second, and then we can have all the council here. Mr. Dennis.
Yes, do you want to just call it governmental update, Mr. Mayor, and that would keep it wide open?
Yeah, that'd be perfect.
You call it governmental update, and then you could put a lot of people under that.
Okay. Do you want me to make a motion to amend, or are you good with just doing it next meeting on the second reading, Dennis?
Yeah, I think you can do it on the second reading that we can, because there's already been a motion and second to vote on this, but
Okay, thank you, Dennis. Any other discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Councilmember Pedrego,
Yes.
Councilmember Durazo,
Yes.
Shelton,
Yes.
Councilmember Dillman,
Yes.
Mr. Mayor.
Yes, motion passes.
An ordinance of the mayor and council of the city of Douglas, 2.02 Douglas Municipal Code, specifically as to section 2.02.020, rules of conduct for council meetings, establishing severability components of ordinance and establishing an effective date thereof.
Thank you. Item 8, adjournment. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Mayor, I motion that we adjourn.
Mrs. Pedregal motions. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion by Mrs. Pedrigo, second by Mr. Shelton. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any
Aye.
nays? Ayes have it. We adjourn at 6:24.
Have a good evening, Dennis.
Yeah, have a good night, everyone.
Good evening. Bye.